Hey Street Fighter fans, Gaku Space here. So I'm here to answer some questions for episode 5. You get it?
I'm here too, Joey Ansah. So, this is the first time we're doing a Q&A video with two guys. So, you guys haven't heard much from Gaku. He's normally the silent, mysterious type. So, we've had a lot of questions in over 2 statuses. So, I'm going to start with some Gaku-focused questions.
Okay.
The first question, Gaku, is from Brandon Hayes. It says, what was it like during the argument scene with Togo? To be honest, you actually steal the scene with Togo.
I don't think so.
Your angry rant about the path and destiny and everything is an intense scene. Did you do a lot of takes of that scene? Sometimes actors say that intense scenes that are intimidating for the actors make great scenes. Did you feel intimidated by Togo?
Actually, no. Not at all.
Well, explain how was this? Because for me, you know, directing that scene and writing, it's one of the most, I think, powerful pieces of drama between 2 characters in dialogue in the series. So, I'm interested to hear from you as much as they are. How was it?
Actually, me and Togo-san kind of discussed a lot, before, so we know what to do. And then, Togo-san's amazing actor, and then he was my master in the series, but he instantly became my master in real life. So he gave me many, advices and many so we talk. It's hard to describe, but yes, it's like so many things like he taught me or stuff like that. So it's kind of easy to get into the moment, in front of the camera actually.
How when Togo has a big voice, so when he's screaming at you, how did that feel?
Oh, it's
powerful.
Yeah, it's powerful. It's like the same thing. It's if you run, with that person who can run faster than you, you can run faster.
Yeah.
He's a more experienced,
so they push you,
much better actor. So he pulled my performances next level.
Definitely. I mean, Togo is kind of like the granddad, the grandfather on set. He's the most experienced actor. Him and Hal Yamanuchi actually are the most experienced actors on set, but to be able to do scenes, Gaku was fortunate enough to have a one-on-one scene with Togo.
I was lucky.
I got to in episode 9, before the fight. So Togo's someone if you think you've got, in England we say bottle, that means you've got strength. To look at Togo in the eye and not break contact is a strong thing, because Togo's not gonna he's not gonna be the one to look away.
It's so much easier. I just open myself and then I just try to suck it in. That's it. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Another one. There's some good questions from Brandon, and they cover quite a lot of your questions in general.
Even though I don't have a Facebook, I know you. You leave always like long messages, and actually I like to read.
Good. So for those of you guys, Gaku is not on Facebook, but he does visit the page and read your comments. So
Thank you for support.
That he's seeing. Okay, his next question. Has Assassin's Fist motivated you to train in martial arts full-time for future movie roles? You're a very convincing action guy. I'm amazed that you aren't really an experienced martial arts guy. You pull it off well in the movie.
Oh, thank you very much. Actually, I do. I used to do only boxing. Now I do kickboxing. And I'm learning from your friend Tsuyoshi Abe, Jeet Kune Do.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, you think you should. I agree with you, Brandon. I think Gaku did a great physical performance. Aside from the emotional one, I think you've got a good future in action if you want to pursue it. So I agree with you. I'll push him to do more.
Well, probably I can be a martial artist, but I can be probably actor who can fight. Yeah, who can do action. Yeah.
Okay, there's another question linked kind of for both of us from Brandon, his final question. This question is for Joey about the fight scene. Could you comment on Gaku's choreography for the fight with Shogun? Gaku said in his interview that he's a fitness guy mostly and is not super flexible martial artist in real life. But his grounded, punchy, angry style looks great on screen and works for the character and the fight scene. When choreographing the fights, did the physical limits of the actors and the time constraints make you create a better fight? Even though the fight in this episode is short, it's the 3rd best fight in the movie.
3rd best?
He doesn't like you anymore, Brendan Hayes.
Yeah, no man. No, third best. I agree. There's a Gotetsu versus Akuma and the Ryuken fights, probably one or two.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, as a fight choreographer, you've got to play to your actor's strengths. If someone cannot kick at all, there's no point giving choreography with loads of kicking. Now, Gaku can kick. It's just because he hasn't done kicking his whole life, he doesn't have super flexible, easy high head kicks. It's not to say you can't do high head kicks. So Goki as a whole is, you think of as power. You don't think of him as doing lots of kind of light jabby moves. You think of it. So when you see the evolution of Gaku's fight, especially that that punch combination that you do, it's very strong. When you do a hit, it counts, right? So even later, the evolution to the Akuma fight, Akuma comes fast, but it's almost, think of a boxer who's throwing jabs and combinations like this. Akuma's like big, solid karate style punches. He's not that he's slow, but he has that karate mindset that one hit is gonna do the job type thing, you know. So yeah, I think it was just Gaku's character really suits Goki, that fiery, that kind of killer stare and that no fear coming forward. So it's quite easy to create a style for Gaku, which you picked up. I don't remember there being much difficulty. Obviously, I'm quite a hard taskmaster for details, you know, if some hand position wasn't right or anything. But yeah.
And then you didn't hire a stunt double for me. I have to do everything.
Yeah, there was no double. If he got injured, you were, you know, you were up shit creek. Okay, next question. Who should we choose? There's a whole load here. Okay, let's try this one. Joshua Parker. Hello, Gaku. When you were attached to play Gorky, of course you know that the role was just it and you would not be Akuma also. Did you have any desire to play Akuma also?
This answer will be yes and no, actually. Yes, as an actor, you want to play everything, you know, and especially this Goki Akuma is one person, so there's whole arc. So naturally, you'll think that you want to play.
Yeah.
But as an actor, you know, I know that the roles you want to play and the roles you can play are different.
Yeah.
You know, and then I knew I couldn't pull off you know, Akuma role as, you know, as good as you did, because the, you know, physique and all those, you know, the fighting skills, and then
yeah, it's just the evolution. I think if Gaku had years to prepare for the role or do Goki and then train and become huge, you would be a good. It's not that Gaku couldn't play Akuma. It's in the time we needed to show the evolution in a short space of time. So, but Gaku lended his voice as well to the Akuma performance, so you still feel.
So I might play Akuma for next season.
Yeah, you still feel the mixture of our voices and stuff to create the Akuma thing.
Yeah.
Gaku's spirit is still very much in the. So as long as I play Akuma, I will want Gaku also lending his voice, so you always recognize it's one kind of person.
Yeah. And then you know, so many comments I've read, it's like, you know, talking about your nationality and race. That's so stupid for me. You know, as an actor, the race and, you know, nationality don't matter. If you fit the role, you should play. That's it. You know?
And if you buy the character, you buy it. You know?
And especially Akuma is kind of lost humanity. So he speaks Japanese, but he's no longer like a human. He's no longer Japanese.
Yeah, he doesn't resemble.
Yeah, and if you see Akuma, the skin tone is kind of dark. And then you have like perfect, you know, fit skin too. So it's, you know, so many people talk about those kind of race and nationality that I think that's so stupid. And especially like Mike Mo.
Yeah.
He's a Korean American who played Ryu. Yeah. But I can't think of any actor who can play Ryu better than Mike. Yeah. You know.
Exactly.
And he played, you know, Japanese Ryu. Then he's Korean, so it's the same thing.
You've been told by Gaku now, all you racists out there.
And he's not a Scandinavian.
No, either. We'll get to that later, I'm sure. When we get to episode 8, you know, we'll bring that up. Yeah. Okay, Louis C. Ortiz says, Gaku, you're my hero, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Let's pick another one. There's a whole load here. Okay, this is an interesting one. Goki looks pleased. This is from Lewis McKenzie. Goki looks pleased when Goken is about to fire a Hadouken at him. Is this down to an acting choice, or does Goki want Goken to embrace the Satsui no Hado? I may be talking absolute rubbish, or is there more to this? So I'll say it from my perspective. I would love, as a director, often in interviews you may want to try and take credit for everything, but this is a bit that Gaku really brought. This is that beautiful moment where, as a writer-director, you've written a scene, the actor you want to play that character has so understood what is going on in the scene, the subtext and layers of it, that he then brings something to the performance that you didn't even direct, you didn't ask them to do, but they do it, and you watch it later back in the editing suite and you're like, that's so good. Because when we were filming that, we were so running out of time at the end of that fight scene. We shot that whole fight in 6 hours. It was crazy. Including the wall explosion and the big Shoryuken and stuff. So I didn't really have time. I was so focused as well on the framing of the Hado, because it was going to be a visual effects shot to make sure the hands aren't blocking your and Hyunri's face. That we did it, I think, in one take. It was one take.
Probably.
So I didn't have time to think, oh my god, look at the monitor I was looking at. It was so fast paced. I wasn't back at the video village looking at the monitor. I was standing with the camera operator, if you remember, looking on a small window. So I couldn't see the detail of the performance. It wasn't until we got in the editing suite I was like, great. So you now tell the story behind that.
Actually, the scenes I was supposed to pass out because we are about to shoot the scene between the
when you wake up.
So
there was a deleted scene. See, originally, because we ran out of time, we had to condense what happened. Originally, Goki hits the wall and you fall unconscious.
Exactly.
And then you wake up to the sound of Sayaka and Goken arguing, and then there's a bit more of a fight. You're like, it was a good fight. I'm glad it happened. And Goken's furious. So we had to, unfortunately, lose that. And it is how it is. But the smile specifically, what was going through your mind to do that?
The before that, it's always, for me, it's so much easier to pick something up because, as you said, I understood the character. Because, you understood the character. I always ask questions about story or character or behind, in the background of character. You answered everything. And then Togo-san gave me advice. And you always willing to discuss about the character with actors. Like respect the actor's point of view. So go through all the process, then I understood very well for the character. So I could just pick it up at the moment. And then Goki is like, he looks pleased. Yes, he was. He's like, his mind is that he knew Goken couldn't throw Hadouken at him. He's too kind. So Goki thinks that's weakness. And someday he could beat Goken someday because of that weakness.
Oh, I see. This is really interesting, and this is why you guys are asking questions, because that has now made Gaku tell me from his point of view. And I didn't know, I interpreted it that you, because you believe in destiny, and that true Ansatsuken is to die in combat is honorable, and to win in combat through killing is honorable. So you knew that when you lost your temper and did the Shoryuken, if Goken now killed you, that's fair, because you have used the killer move first, right? So I thought you were almost smiling as if to say, come on, do it, because Goken is always resisting Satsui no Hado, so you have made him like Satsui no Hado come out of him. So now you're like, good, this is what I've been waiting for. And you're almost like, do it, let's see if you're brave enough, do it. I want you to almost.
It's kind of same scene as I was writing a scroll. He said, hey, I will stop you. He said, go ahead. But he couldn't do it, so I knew that he's.
But I also thought it was cool because it's almost like you don't have fear of death. Even someone is like someone pointing a gun to your head like this, ready to shoot. and you're just smiling. You're like, whatever.
Yeah, of course, because that's the Ansah's game sport. Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
Okay.
but I knew that he couldn't throw the Hadouken, and I knew that sometimes, sooner or later I could beat Goken.
Good. Well, that's some good insight. I've learned something from your point of view.
Yeah.
There's another random one that's not for Gaku. It just says Doi Nguyen, Vietnamese. What did Goken mean when he said to Sayaka, "You've done enough," or "You've done quite enough for him"? When whilst Goki is in the dojo with Gotetsu, having their argument, Sayaka and Goken are outside, and he's like, "I think you've done quite enough for him." What he means is he knows. I think he knows that there's been something physical going on between Sayaka and Goki. He can't prove it, but he knows, and it's almost like Sayaka is confirming his suspicions because she's worried so much about Goki, even though he tried to kill. So he's almost like, you've done enough for him because you've been helping him a little too much, I think.
Yeah.
And
you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's the love triangle.
Yeah.
He's not spelling it out, but that's why she's even like, "What do you mean by that?"
Yeah, exactly.
And he just says, "Go to your room," type of thing. So, another one from Juan Grazioli. Hey guys, 3 questions. Number 1, is that the in your symbol on the sliding doors of the dojo? Yes. Correct. Well spotted. What can you tell us about the special effects of the wall when it's hit by the Hadouken? Sarfaraz Janjua, one of our superfans, also asked that same question, so I can kind of answer both of yours now. We had to create a false section of wall with the det charges in them that are actually going to create the explosion. So you've got a whole kind of plasterboard and sand and stuff built into the wall, and the kind of explosive charges set in, which we did for real, for added danger. For safety, you could shoot a plate shot. So you would shoot a still shot, a locked off camera, just shooting the wall exploding on its own. And then without moving the camera at all, you could then put Shogun in and have him just dodge out the way of the wall, and then you can combine the 2 shots to make the explosion. But we were running out of time, and old school filmmaking. And look, we're there to time it. So as soon as he's clear, we rehearsed it. So we did it for real. We had a det charge, but you can imagine that boom, 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 thinking there's a live wall behind me. 3, 2, 1. Bam! Then we.
Was so close though. I was so surprised.
You were even shocked how close it was.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But it makes for a great shot. It makes for a great shot. So then, after that explosion, we actually created as well a prettier looking domed wall that looks like a Hadouken's hit it, because the way the wall looked after the det charge, there's wires hanging out and stuff like that. So we then replaced that with a separate wall. If we had more time, we would have done more. We were just so rushed on that shot. So
one take.
Very happy that we got what we did there. Okay. Question 3 from Juan Grazioli. There is a missing board at the end of the episode. Is that Gorma's? Yes, it is. Yeah. So the general rule of the name tag boards, I can remember discussing with Chris about how, like, the system of the board. So it's kind of like, if a master banishes a student, he will turn the name over, almost in shame, like you've been dishonored. If a student decides he no longer wants to be a student of the master and thinks he'll be better off on his own, he will take his own tag, as if to say, I'm not a part of your school anymore. And that probably means that guy's going to come back to try and fight that master. Yeah. So that missing tag, Goma, clearly at one point, Gotetsu and Goma trained together with students, like brothers, under their master. And at some point, Goma, almost like Goki, was chasing that ultimate pursuit of Satsuno Hado too fast, and he upped and left. But he didn't succeed like Goki did. Crazy, because he wasn't balancing, and he didn't manage to lose his humanity. That's how Goki almost avoided going mad is by completely losing all human weakness, all attachment, all emotion. Your mind was become so pure that it couldn't be corrupted. You know. Who else shall we take a question from? Who came up with the Ansatsuken katas? Chris Howard and I, we discussed that early on. The kata was a part of the script from the very first kind of treatment. So we knew we were going to do a kata that was going to consist of all the trademark stances that you see from the game. So studied all the most iconic looking sprites from Akuma, from Ryuken, Goken. Notice Goken's kind of parry is in there as well. Then it evolved over time. I did the first stab at the kata and then showed it to Chris, and then we worked on that and changed bits and experimented. Everyone came with ideas, and then Akira was the first other cast member to start learning it, and we shot a video. Actually, we will release the video of kata training and development. It's of me, Chris and Akira in a gym, and it's quite funny because Akira had only just started getting to grips with it, and
Akira-san.
Akira. So yeah, we'll release that soon, so you guys can kind of see how that kata.
Then you guys send us the video that made us practice the kata.
Yeah, so exactly. So that video we sent of it's me doing it, Chris doing it, Akira doing it, and then these guys, before filming and pre-production began, had to start getting their head around it.
I still remember everything actually.
Okay, what do we got? Okay, Amir Hamza Al-Dashi Sheikh. Is there a reason that Goken's gis change colour? I heard Gaku... well, let's answer that first one. I just thought, showing an evolution, if these guys have meant to have been training for years and years and years, just to presume, martial artists have different coloured gis sometimes. Now, it may be a specific ceremonial reason or a personality reason why. So... earlier in the flashbacks of training, you see Goki in the all-white gi. And you also see them in mix, sometimes with white top and black bottoms, and then vice versa. But it's almost like, as time goes on, Goki's sensibilities have become darker, so he now wears the all-dark gi. So it's just a simple thing to show that Goki wasn't like, oh, he's born in a black gi and Goken's born... And as for Goken wearing the white top and the dark bottoms, it's almost a subtle reference to his color scheme in Street Fighter 4. He has kind of beigey and white top and then the blue bottoms, or vice versa and stuff.
The white is episode 3, something like that.
Yeah, in the flashback where you're looking at.
And then even my hairstyle is different.
Yeah,
it's a more younger looking hairstyle. If you guys notice.
Exactly. Go back and look. Gaku commands it. He says, okay, I heard Gaku knew boxing. How difficult was it to master the graceful kicks? Or how many graceful kicks did you do?
0.
You did the spinning back kick.
Yeah, but it's not graceful.
He kicked him, actually. You're going to see in the blooper reel when the DVD Blu-ray comes out.
Yeah.
He kicked Shogun so hard, Shogun hit the camera. And close the flaps on the camera. Real contact.
Yeah, actually, the before shooting, Mike Mo now lives in Wisconsin, but he used to live in LA. So we meet up, and he taught me, basic kicks.
Yeah.
So, and he have to move to Wisconsin, but I kept, practicing the kick. So, I wasn't flexible enough to do all the high kicks, but I was quite, comfortable to do the low kick and
mid-level kicks, exactly.
Thanks, Mike.
So this final question, which is interesting: why does Goki believe in destiny when in Street Fighter 4 Akuma states to Rose that to enslave yourself to destiny is admitting weakness? This shows he clearly thinks otherwise in the games. Amir Hamza, I think you're maybe looking into some text written in the game as a win line a little too deeply.
But actually, this is Akuma's line. But Goki still believes in destiny, but he kind of throws everything away that's why he burned all the pictures and then 10 kanji.
Yeah, but you can believe in destiny and think there is Ansatsuken destiny. That
Yeah.
if you're a student of Ansatsuken, you are ultimately going to be destroyed or have to destroy someone else. That is the part of destiny he believes in. That one way or another they're going to have to fight. But it doesn't mean that Akuma feels his future is mapped out, that he can predict his death.
No, that's true.
Every fight he goes into, he believes he wants to win because he's trained to be the best fighter in the world. But in another way, he's also searching for someone strong enough to kill him in combat. I don't think Akuma would be happy just dying of old age with no worthy opponent, because then everything he's trained for is for no use. There's no one left to fight.
Yeah.
I think he would almost like a glorious death like Gotetsu.
Yeah.
And maybe in the Street Fighter line, that's what he is chasing Ryu for.
Yeah. And he doesn't want to say, oh, I lost because of destiny. No, because he's weak. That's why. But he wants to win. He wants to be stronger than anybody else.
Yeah, and if someone is stronger than him, then they're a god.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
If Akuma is almost Oni, then if someone can beat Akuma, he is in the presence of a Shin Oni, you know?
Yeah.
So whatever, you can look at it like that. But okay. Is this a real name? Chinky Phyla Silo. Phylat Silo. Hi Joey, Gaku. As we've seen, young Goki is very short-tempered in the series. How does that develop when he goes through the Satsuno Hado procedure? And how does it feel portraying such a powerful character? Well, probably that last part is the most important part. How did it feel playing an iconic, powerful character?
Excited, and then I had fun, actually.
Yeah. I mean, I think for both of us, we both share the unique feeling of being in the caves.
Yeah.
That is a powerful place. Mm-hmm. And when you're there all alone, okay, there's film crew and stuff, but once the camera's on, everyone's there and it's just you by the fire or up meditating on the rocks. That place is one of the most amazing places I think you could ever hope to film in. Yeah. And that has a sense of power. When it's just you there and all eyes are on you and you've got those eyes above your head.
Yeah, amazing place. Yeah. But I didn't have any pressure to play the character, actually, because I've been waiting for years to play those kind of roles, and I was so ready to play this kind of role, actually.
I think you put the nail on the head, because feeling ready as an actor, a lot of actors always, I want, I wish I had a lead role in a film, but are you ready for it? Are you truly mature enough? Could you handle it? If someone says, right, okay, you're going to be the main villain against Batman, that means you have to be as powerful on screen as Batman to be a worthy villain. Do you really think you could pull it off? Could you pull off Akuma? It's a big shoes to fit into. And it's like, when I got Bourne Ultimatum, for example, that was my big break. I felt ready. I didn't feel any fear. Yeah. I literally felt I am the best person on the planet to play this role. Yeah. And I'm going to show everyone. It wasn't, whereas sometimes I've had roles as an actor, you get cast as it, but you think, this isn't the perfect role for me. I can do it, but part of me doesn't feel as confident, whereas there's some roles, and I just saw from his audition, I saw the first 20 seconds of his audition, I said, that's Goki. He is Goki, it's not even him pretending, the whole energy of him is the character, so that's where destiny and opportunity, and skill and talent all came together when you just feel it's right and it happens, you know. Here's a question, did you feel like you were going to get the part?
Yeah, totally.
Really?
Yeah.
Before you even sent the audition in?
Yeah, I think I thought I gonna get it. As an actor, you go to audition like 100,000 times. Yeah. 1,000 auditions, then sometimes you're gonna get it, and then you will get it. Yeah. This audition is kind of one of them, and then I got it. So
that's good.
I was right.
That's good. Yeah. Okay. So Jeffrey James Sippin Vez, Hello Joey, Gaku and the rest of the SFAF fam. I was wondering, what was the most difficult thing to translate into live action from the source material? That's a broad question which I won't address right now. And in correlation, probably Akuma's hair, Akuma's goddamn appearance, right? And in correlation to this specific episode, which is episode 5, where is it that Goken drew his inspiration from when Goken himself were working with Sayaka on the calligraphy? It was nowhere specific. It wasn't like it was some magic, fountain. Yeah. He was just being a sleazeball and being a charmer with Sayaka. Basically, I want to take you to this beautiful place in the clearing in the forest where, I had a sense of kind of, come over me, and it inspired me to paint this kanji this way. That's all he really meant by it in that case. And for Gaku, what was the most difficult stunt for you that you were happy to actually pull off?
Well, I don't know. I did it pretty off though, but the most difficult one is shuriken. With the wire, I never practiced. I have to do like on the spot.
That's tough. Okay, so to give a bit of backstory to that. We only had one session to practice the wire work, particularly the shoryukens, before filming began, and Gaku wasn't on Facebook. We couldn't contact him, so for some crazy reason, I can't remember how, he missed that rehearsal session. So it was me, Chris, Mike, Akira were all there. Even Jackie, our producer, got in a harness and did a shoryuken. You've probably seen a photo somewhere. So the way it works, you've got a harness on, covers your chest and your groin area, and you have 2 pick points from your waist. So there's 2 wires going up, and
one's front and the one's back. Actually.
Yeah. Well, they would start just in front, but we would put the left one behind us, and then the right one on this arm. So as you're going up, you have a wire coming down here to your waist, which is quite painful. I mean, I almost got cut open because you're wearing these bare tops. We later obviously put some padding around the actual cable, but the motion and the friction of it moving can slice in. And so to pivot, those 2 wires go up to kind of a crossbar, which is on a triangular frame, and at the top of the triangular frame is on a pivot point. So you've got that with the wires coming down, and that allows the whole thing to pivot. So when they pull you, you go up, you put a bit of spin by pulling this left shoulder back and this forward, that's getting, and bringing that right knee up and across, you can get the twizzle and do the 360 and land. But it's hard work, even for those of us who had practiced it. So poor Gaku, time is running out. Yeah. We got to do it. Gaku's never been in it. He just goes, and they give you fucking high as well. Yeah. You can see how high he goes.
It's so high.
And he goes up, and it's looking good. And at the top, he just swings. So he goes fully horizontal and just comes down.
Smashed it.
Completely on your, on like flat. He's laying down. Bam. But he's brave. He just got on and did it. And was like, fuck it. Yeah. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to just show you.
Yeah, and I think I did it 3 times. The 3rd time, and then you said, "Hey, this is the last one. If you don't put it off, that's it." And okay, fuck, I gotta do it.
And is that the one we used?
Yeah, I think so, probably. What, the one before? I don't know.
Yeah, well, but yeah, that's pretty scary, and it looks fun, and it is fun when you've done it. But if you haven't done it the first time, because you're looking up, and at the peak you need to spin and then orientate yourself, and you're like, shit, I'm high, and then you're being dropped, and you've got to, we don't want the descent to look too slow, so you really need to have your balance, so when you land, you're landing not on the side of your ankle, or whatever. Right, I think...
It was nice to meet you, Jeffrey, at the Comic-Con, by the way.
Exactly.
Yeah, you had an awesome costume, by the way.
They had the Danger Mouse kind of Spider-Man suits for you guys who've seen the...
Amazing.
Yeah, crazy stuff. Good guys. He even said, P.S. I've said this many times before, it's awesome to meet you guys at San Diego Comic-Con this year. Look forward to what's to come. You guys have my support all the way.
Thank you.
Already pre-ordered the Blu-ray.
Well,
and so should the rest of you. The pre-orders are probably available for most territories now. We will release and continue to release more comprehensive information on pre-order sites for all the different territories. Those of you in Brazil, those of you here in America, those of you in UK, Australia, France, etc. It's coming. But search for it and you should find it. Okay, let's find one more. One more.
Well, I found the a question that I want to ask too.
Go on.
Why is the go keys, after stomping and do Hadouken at the Goken, it's blue?
Okay, that's the one I was going to pick. So, also Matthew Perdiguera asked a similar question. So, here's a bit of kind of science background explanation on Hado, Satsu no Hado, Muno Hado. All forms of the first stage of manifesting any form of your ki into an attack is just to use your own ki. So if you're using Muno Hado, you're putting yourself into almost a meditative state where you can block out all feelings, thoughts and sounds other than the feeling of your ki transferring around your body. Once you're in that state, you have achieved the power of nothingness. You can then, using your will, start to focus that ki into your fist for a shoryuken, or into your legs to jump for a shoryuken, or from your waist, from your dantian in Chinese, or the tanden in Japanese, where they believe the source of your ki is. So even for the Tatsumaki, a lot of you have asked, how does that use Hado? Well, the Hado starts here. As you wind your waist, you put it into your legs, and that gives you an extra fast jump and through your waist to twist. So it just powers. Hado can be used to make your muscles contract faster, or it can actually be discharged into an energy and thrown. So when you learn Satsu no Hado, even though it's the murderous intent, think of Satsu no Hado like this. We've got a plastic cup. Imagine if I said, if I stare at this thing long enough, could I make it explode in my hand by making my ki just in my hand, just make this thing blow up? If I really focused everything, could that work? So it's still Gaku's ki. When Gaku does that first Hadoken, it's still your own ki, and we've made the color of your own ki blue. So that's why when Ryu and Ken do Hadokens, it's blue. When you do a Hadoken, once you become more advanced at Satsu no Hado, you start to be able to tap into Dark Hado. Now, Dark Hado is a ki, like a dark ki that you're bringing in from almost another dimension, a parallel dark, destructive dimension. And that color is purple. When that mixes in with your ki, it has the purple color. So you know someone is actually using Dark Hado. That's why the Mets Hadokens are purple. Yeah. And even the attack, the Mets Go Shoken that Gotetsu does against me against the tree, there's purple because it's a Dark Hado technique. But so at this stage, look, the blue Hadoken is still going to fuck you up.
Yeah, totally.
But the Mets Hadoken will obliterate you.
Yeah.
There's no coming back from that. As we saw with Ken getting hit with Use, it can knock you unconscious and disrupt your own ki flow. So hopefully that answers that. Blue means it's your own ki being channeled. Purple means that dark ki is being mixed in. And there you have it. I think we should wrap it up for there. It's a nice long Q&A. I hope you guys have enjoyed hearing from the man himself, Gaku Space, who plays Goki.
Yep.
We hope to do a few more double sessions. I'm sure some of you guys would like to hear from Togo and Shogen. So maybe for episode 9 or episode 8 would be good episodes to get Togo-san. So I'll see what I can do. We're all kind of split up all over the world at the moment. But
maybe I'm gonna come back for episode 7.
Well, exactly. I think episode 7, if you've got the opportunity to ask Gaku questions, get them in for him, because episode 7 is all you. Maybe to get something from Hyunri as well could be nice. Let's see what we can arrange. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you very much.